everyone, I'm Brent Skarkey from the State Chamber of Oklahoma. It's an election year and we're excited to kick off a new interview series on okdecides.com. The site, the best way to stay up to date with the latest candidate developments in our state. The State Chamber's Chad Warmington going one-on-one with statewide office candidates to give the business community and Oklahomans a great look at what the men and women who are running for office are all about. The interview does not constitute an endorsement from the State Chamber. It's just a place where they can be heard and voters can learn more.
Well, we're here with Dr. John Cox, who is running for State School Superintendent. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. I love this.
I'm looking forward to our conversation. I want to introduce you all to Dr. Cox. He's an educator. He's got more than 40 years of experience as a teacher, a counselor, a coach, a professor, a superintendent. There's probably other job titles that were not official.
Oh, yeah.
Probably janitor,
yes.
Bus driver.
Yep.
There's probably a lot of different jobs you've had in the field. Yeah, they all go together, right? He's led public schools for 32 years, serving in multiple administrative roles. He holds 12 professional certifications, including superintendent, principal counselor, computer science, and mathematics. Man, we could have a conversation about that. Oklahoma needs to catch up in that.
Absolutely.
I bet you have some ideas on that as well.
Yeah.
Dr. Cox has taught graduate level education courses at Mid-America Christian University and Northeastern State University. And he's also served in leadership roles with several statewide education organizations. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. I love this, and I love talking about public education.
Good. So do we. We want to be great partners with you in improving outcomes, and we're really excited about the journey.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start you off with a big picture question.
Okay.
So you're running for State School Superintendent, but in that, give us kind of your vision for Oklahoma. What are you hoping to accomplish?
You know, I want to elevate us, and I know the perception's 50th in the nation, but I've been telling groups within 2 years we could move up to 25, and then we can start competing towards number one, because we have the teachers, we have the kids, we just need to focus and put our efforts that way. Just roll up our sleeves and do the work.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think that Oklahoma has all the makings for a really fantastic, 8-year, 10-year, 20-year run. Yeah. Education is so crucial to that.
Absolutely.
And it's really kind of the fuel that fuels the fire of what our economy could be. And so that's why this role is so important, and we're spending so much time really focusing on how can we be helpful in advancing and improving those outcomes. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you kind of just off the top was, so what problem in Oklahoma's educational system would you make your top priority as State School Superintendent? And then the secondary part of that is, and why is it so important that you do that now, whatever that one is?
Yeah, day one. And so, as you know, the conversation, even in the governor's candidates, has been reading. Mm-hmm. But we see that. And so when everybody started talking about the Mississippi Miracle, I started reading what they do, and it's what I do in my school. Mm-hmm. All our teachers are infused in science of reading. And, it makes monumental impact on our kids. So if you can't read, there's nothing else you can do. And it saddens me when I go across the state and hear about seniors in high school that cannot read. And I can't wrap my mind around that, but what we do really helps those kids that are at risk of not reading. And so if I can infuse that in all 1,500 elementaries across the state, help those teachers get trained in the science of reading in pre-K through 5th and really focus on that, that's going to uplift everybody. And that it's not only going to be this generation, but it's going to be generations to come. And to me, that's important. I think this job has major impact on the second, third generations. My grandkids is what I want to make an impact on.
Yeah, amen. And I think it's just, this role is so critical in that future success of those generations.
It is. It is.
And so appreciative of you to talk about that. And specifically, I'd be kind of curious. You piqued my curiosity. Like, maybe what's the specific metric that you would like to see improved after maybe your first year in office? So you're in office for 1 year. What's the specific metric you'd like to say, hey, I want that to improve?
Well, it has to be reading, but also I talk about foundational math, which I'm a math major. I love math. Yeah. But I think we've gone away from students being able to use their mind and do critical thinking with math. It's more on the keypad. And so I want all of our, fifth graders across the state to be able to do their times tables. Something really simple. And I talk a lot about fractions to decimals to percents. and which seems really silly, but that's knowledge they're going to use the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And if they can do those things, then if they need to go on and take Algebra 2 and Geometry and Trig and Calculus, and to go into those jobs, they'll have a foundation for it. If they want to go into carpentry or auto mechanics or other type of mathematical jobs, they'll have the foundation for it. And I just see it on helping individuals succeed. And I think one thing too is we don't put enough emphasis on our trades that we have. And that resonates all across this state, because right at 80% of our kids will not go to college or finish college. I want to put a certificate in their hand when they graduate in some trade area that they love. And then what they're saying is the average 19-year-old is making $62,000. That's the average salary.
In a skilled trade.
In a skilled trade.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because that's more than a 4-year degree.
Right.
And so I think that impacts Oklahoma immediately. It takes kids out of poverty, families out of poverty. It allows them to really make an impact on the community. And I just see it as a beautiful thing for the future of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Really, that dovetails nicely into my next question, and you kind of answered it, but we can expand on it.
Okay.
So we have created what we call our Oklahoma Competes agenda.
Yes.
And so for us, what that is really we're trying a new way to look at how the state is competitive both regionally and nationally in terms of economics. And it centers really on 4 kind of key pillars. One's economic climate, workforce and education,
Yes.
Infrastructure, and then innovation are the core pillars. And innovation for us means, how innovative can we make our economy that make, we do things that are so innovative people want to invest and grow and build businesses here.
Absolutely.
As you think about your role in this office, how do you see your ability to impact and work on those 4 things? What's the one area that you think maybe would be the most attention that you could give from that would really help us improve on that economic competitiveness?
Well, I think all 4 are important, but I think what we're doing and what my plan does is actually expand on all of those. Even the economic expansion, I think it focuses on what jobs. I love internships and mentorships, and that brings purpose back to high school for those kids. And if we can let them go to work and have flexibility in high school for their purpose and really make it valuable to them, I think that affects all of these areas. And the innovative part, I think, excites me, especially when we get to talking about AI and how we need to embrace it and work with it. And so I have a lot of those discussions lately, but all 4 pillars are extremely important to what we're doing. But if you do the foundation of what I'm talking about and just empower those kids, it's going to put them in positions where they can really make a difference and make Oklahoma, I don't know, they always say top 10, but I think if we start elevating us up to 25 and not move up, people will be excited.
Oh, it'd be a massive growth for Oklahoma.
And I see it happening.
Yeah, do you think that there's one maybe specific thing in this Competes agenda? Is there one thing that this office could really zone in on that would make a big difference maybe right away?
They talk a lot about aeronautics and the innovation there, and I think if the focus in bringing those outside resources into the state and really letting our students see that, because out in rural areas, it's hard for us to see certain things like that. So if those can be expanded out to rural communities and give opportunity for those students, I just see that very empowering.
Yeah. Are you kind of, is what you're getting at, in a lot of the data work we've looked at in Oklahoma ranks really low in experiential learning opportunities for students, so internships, externships, just site visits. And so kind of what I hear you saying, and it kind of the data backs it up, is that if you can get a kid a vision of what their future could look like, because some kids, they may be their first in their family ever to graduate, from high school or go get a career certification or even go to college, so they don't really know what it looks like. Do you think that's impactful, and that's something Oklahoma should work on?
It's extremely impactful, and so I've met with a group of businessmen recently, and they really want to impress on me the internships and bringing people in, and these are business owners, and they want to empower those students to learn their business and raise them in the business. And that's in high school.
Yeah.
And so whether they're paid or not, if they can have an internship, that gives them a step up.
Yeah.
And I can see that where the state chamber, can really help on what we're doing there. We just need to bring purpose back to what we're doing.
Yeah.
Those 40% of the 80% that's not going to college, we need to bring real purpose to them.
Yeah, and that's where we have such a great career tech system that
it is number one in the nation.
And so for us, as we're looking at those pillars, that workforce and economic development, really the workforce side. I mean, there's just tremendous opportunities for students.
There is.
We just have to do a better job of aligning state goals to that. We want to be really successful in these sets of industries, and our workforce, our career tech systems, and our higher ed systems can align to that. We got to get more clarity, but it's just a shame that we are not doing a good enough job of getting kids on those career pathways.
I think we're fragmented.
Yeah.
I think everybody's trying to do different things, and if we can all get on the same page and focus.
Yeah.
But I want to give opportunity for students to do the things that they want to do for a lifetime.
Yeah.
And not make widgets, not make robots, but actually let them do the things they want to do for a life.
Yeah. We talk a lot in this room and at the chamber about free enterprise and defense of free enterprise. And really, at the end of the day, that's really what we're about. But be curious from your perspective, personal, how do you define free enterprise? And then, where does that, your motto or your belief, your understanding of free enterprise, how does that influence your office in the ways in which you can help, protect that and grow that?
Right. And I see this office as just providing a foundation. And I keep saying that over, but it's a foundation to empower students to have opportunity. I don't think we can make anyone do anything, but if we can give them opportunity, we've done our job. And I see that as being the foundation of everything the State Chamber's trying to get across. And empowering economic development and workforce, I see students being excited about that. And whether it's working on a car in high school and learning how to do that, we all need mechanics, we all need plumbers and electricians.
No doubt.
If they're excited about their profession, I just think it elevates all of us, and really that's what you all are doing.
Yeah. And I think for us, and I appreciate you saying that. I think for us, as we've been studying, the data and looking at how to make Oklahoma more competitive, and for kind of the beginning, we really had focused on workforce development. We're like, how do we really lean into the career tech and higher ed system? But you can't help but look at that and then go, but wait a minute, why are there not more students able to take advantage of those opportunities? And I'll give Brent Haken, Director Superintendent of Career Tech, said we got a lot of kids that'll show up. They're not able to read the manual in order to even get the training we need. So for us, we shifted back down. We're like, how do we be helpful? How do we partner with folks in education, use our combined voice to really say, look, if we really want these outcomes that we say we do, we got to get engaged in education. Is that fair?
Yeah, foundation reading and comprehension.
Yep.
And you're right, they have to be able to read the manuals because they're more and more technical now.
Yep. Give me your opinion. This is an interesting question for you. I'll preface it by that already.
All right.
But there's considerable interest in a number of various statewide positions that are currently elected being moved to appointed. This office is one of them. So it's interesting you're running for this spot, but I'd be kind of curious more of your thoughts on maybe less about the governor really having the ability to appoint it and more about should this position be elected. Just give me your thoughts on that.
I think it should be elected because I want people to have the voice in who is in that position. I don't want one man, regardless of who it is, having control over who is in that position. I just think it's so important. But on the other end, I wouldn't mind for each congressional district to elect a state board member and then hire a CEO. Just like we do in our public schools, and that's and that does away with the job I'm running for.
Right.
But I think that actually gives more power to each of those congressional districts and who they put in that position. And the voice that they have with them. And so then it's not a governor with six appointed board members anymore. They're actually working for the people.
There's just a lot of talk about that, and we've been looking at it too as well in the sense of, and I love your that's a great, there's options to do that. I think the point would be to maybe depoliticize it a little bit, and so that to your point, hire a CEO. What does a board of directors do? They go out and hire the best people. What does your school board do?
They hire the best person.
Right. And so, we kind of don't have that model. So there's a lot of talk about the Capitol. I was just kind of curious your take on that.
But you will see, I will depoliticize it. Because when I'm in there, I'll just roll up my sleeves and work. And, there is politics involved in that. But if you make every decision based on the child, then everything's going to be okay with that.
Yeah. Well, let me give you a good wrap-up question.
Sure.
Time flies. We're already at our time, but I want you to envision you're serving in your 4th year. You've been elected state school superintendent. You're coming up on your 4th year 4 years from now. What do you want voters to be able to say, hey, he went out and did this, which made the difference? How do you want voters to evaluate what it is you were able to accomplish in that 4 years? What does that vision look like?
And we've been asked that question a lot, and what I say is in the first year, because we already have things set up to make a difference in the first year. And truly, I want to have the perception of Oklahoma being the best education state in the nation. And to do that, we're going to have to work really hard. I do see us being to 25 and go in that direction, and I want people to see that and go, you know, we are good. We have to elevate our teachers, and I want them to know that their profession is admirable, that we should put them on a pedestal. And as we do all that together, it doesn't really matter what happens to John Cox. I truly want something, you know, for my 6 grandchildren, you know, and then for the other 690,000. I want something that says public school is the choice. I love school choice. I think parents should have that. But I want to make ours so good that they can say, wow, I want to try public schools.
Yeah,
that is the message.
Yep.
At the end of 4 years, I want them to say.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that we can end better than that. That's a perfect way to end on it. I want to thank you, one, for coming in and talking to us, but two, being willing to serve. And we always, at the State Chamber, we're always out recruiting candidates and really encouraging people to run. And it's a commitment and it's a sacrifice. And I appreciate you doing it. We appreciate you being willing to step it up and serve. Go on the campaign trail, spend time away from home. Sounds like you got your driver with you and your wife's who's all in on this as well. And thank you for her sacrifice. But thank you for coming in and talking to us today.
Absolutely.
Too. Really enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You bet.